And here's what I think might be compelling for our audience, and actually I'm just really interested to get your 2 cents on it as well. If you're in a situation to buy a car right now, which we made a video earlier in the week talking about should you buy a car right now during
Yeah.
coronavirus, gave our 2 cents there. I'll link it in the description below. Should you go to Carvana, CarMax, or a dealer? And that's what I want to know is if you're in the market for a car right now, which one would you go to? Just your understanding. And we deal with dealers all the time because that's what we do for our customers. Carvana, CarMax, or do you go to the car dealer? What do you do?
Car dealer. I'll tell you why.
Okay. That's going
CarMax.
to shock a lot of people that are watching this.
Well, I'm going to explain to you why. CarMax and Carvana are one price only. The
Yep.
price is the price. There's no negotiating. CarMax and Carvana's prices are higher than anyone else's. Okay. The reason they're higher.
He's about to ask why. How do you know that?
Well, because I used to compete with them.
Compete with them, yeah.
Yeah, the reason they're higher is because they're non-negotiating stores, and the people that have come in there have come in for the convenience of the price is the price and the amount of selection. So there is a percentage of people that are willing to pay more for the convenience of not having to negotiate and for the convenience of selection. But I know for a fact that CarMax will pay more for a lot of used cars because they know they can charge more.
And so let's actually talk about that just briefly because CarMax, correct me if I'm wrong, they're a publicly traded company, aren't they?
They are.
So they report quarterly to their shareholders the health of their business.
Yes.
And if I'm not mistaken, they talk about in those conference calls and in their quarterly reports and their annual reports, their used car margin. And I think you even mentioned to me when you compare like a Penske or an AutoNation or a Group 1 or these other big, and if they are publicly traded companies, they compare their margin on used car sales. And CarMax is our best in the business, right?
CarMax average gross profits are higher than everybody else's.
So to your point, that is one way, because I've never been a car dealer. I don't have your experience of competing on price with them, but that is one way to validate what you're saying is, okay, if you are thinking about going to CarMax because of the convenience, just recognize that you're
paying more. Yeah. You're absolutely positively paying more for the convenience of not having to negotiate and for the convenience of having the size of the selection that they have. Now, a local car dealer, okay, who doesn't have the luxury of being a public company, who doesn't have the luxury of hundreds of thousands of shareholders, okay, they have the situation where they need cash flow, and their inventory costs are different. They need to turn the car more quickly. And in down times like this, they would be more predisposed to take a shorter deal and negotiate and work with you in order to make a deal and turn that hunk of metal into green stuff than CarMax or Carvana would. I mean, Carvana, for example, has been around for a few years now and still hasn't turned a profit.
Well, and I don't know if you saw it in the news, but I think they raised $600 million in new capital in debt and equity financing a couple weeks ago. So right as this coronavirus pandemic was really hitting its core here in the United States, they recognized that there's going to be, people are still going to shop for cars. There's been a huge downgrade in terms of what the overall expectation is for light cars or cars and light trucks to be in the United States, but there's still going to be like 14 million cars sold this year, vehicles. Yeah. So they got all this capital so they can burn it to keep selling cars at, I guess, they make money on the car deals, but they're marketing like crazy. Whereas
their expenses are still out of whack for what it is that they're trying to accomplish. Yeah. And, building giant ass vending machines, spending as much money on marketing as they do.
Yeah.
To me, Carvana is what Amazon was 20 years ago. I remember when Amazon was losing 3, 4, $500 million a quarter. And being the brilliant businessman that I am, I said, well, this company can't make it. They can't last. How long can you stay in business losing that kind of money? Well, apparently you could stay in business a long time if there's enough investors who think that there's a future for that. And
Yeah.
apparently there was,
Yeah.
because I don't know, Amazon makes money today, and a lot of it, and doesn't pay any taxes on it. God bless them.
Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation.
Yes, it is.
There's a concept called carried losses that you and I could go back and forth on forever. But anyway,
Yes.
so with Carvana, they are probably painting the picture of what the future looks like for the mom and pop dealerships in terms of the convenience, the online retailing, the 7-day return policy to
Yes.
home, which we are seeing more and more mom and pops start to offer because they don't really have a choice because of social and physical distancing.
Yeah.
However, if you're looking for the best price that you can get on a car right now, so if the question is, should I buy a car right now? Yes. Where should I go to buy the car? CarMax, Carvana, or my local dealer? You want the best price, you go to your local dealer. If you want the most convenient experience, you probably go to Carvana or CarMax. However,
Yes.
you got to recognize you're paying more for that car.
It's just fact. You're paying a higher price per car at CarMax and Carvana than you are at your local dealer.
And now, and I think that makes sense to me, and it should make sense to our viewers as well. But I'm curious if people would be interested in learning about the true cars of the world and websites like that and what implication they have on prices. Let's not get into it right now. Let's see if there's interest in the comments and things like that. But that could be a whole other video that we talk
Oh,
about.
absolutely. Yeah.
Dealers hate TrueCar, but TrueCar exists, and there's some insight and insights there that we could probably share as well. But hey, end of the coming full circle, wrapping things up. You want to buy a car, cheapest price dealer. You want to buy a car, super convenient, Carvana. Makes sense, but you have to have your priorities in place.
Yes, you have to determine what's most important to you, price or convenience.
And if you're looking for deals on a car right about now, we put up on the yourautoadvocate.com website. It's under our guide section. It's coronavirus specific car deals that have come out of the recent pandemic. Go there or just Google search Your Auto Advocate coronavirus. It should pop up. We've consolidated and created one repository for all the different programs, the different 0% financing, the rebates, the extra trade-in, et cetera, et cetera. It's all there on one page. Definitely take a look at that.
Yes, I would highly recommend it because somebody I know worked very hard at putting that together. You're a good man, Zach.